What's up guys, it's Nimbus Reviews here, back with another One Piece video. Today I want to predict and discuss my thoughts on what might happen in chapter 1038. And honestly guys, I did plan on having this video out last week, but I didn't realize that we were already on the next week and we're going to get our chapter in a few days. But then I had already written my script by the time I realized this, so I decided I might as well just record it and get it out as soon as possible. And my voice does sound weird right now. I did get COVID, so if any of you guys noticed, that's what it is. Hopefully it's not too bad, but I can't really do anything about it right now. Before I give you guys my predictions on the chapter, go down to the comments and let me know what you guys think might happen in chapter 1038, as well as just how you think Wano might be ending and how soon. But with that being said, let's hop right into the discussion. Oda left us on a pretty big cliffhanger last chapter, so there's honestly a huge amount of anticipation for what's to come, especially things to do with the last scenes of the chapter. But in typical Oda fashion, I don't think we will get a lot to do with those events, at least not with the Gorosei and what they were talking about, as I don't believe that is connected at all to Zunisha or what's happening in Wano. Since Zunisha is now in the vicinity or pretty close to Wano, we might get a continuation of what's going on with her, as we don't have much longer in Wano, so Oda doesn't have much time to regress all the plot points that he has going. So I expect the pace to start picking up very fast and very soon. I think Zunisha is here for a few reasons. One, to help Momo hold up Onigashima. Now I'm not really sure if Momo was the one who called Zunisha to come help, or somehow this was just the time that she was supposed to come to Wano and that's part of her having to walk for as long as she had to, but I think that's one reason. The second reason is to help with the world government so that the Straw Hats can leave without getting captured or having to fight their way out. I don't think Oda would want to repeat what happened at the end of Totland, especially because the outcome of this arc is a whole lot different from Totland. In Totland, we weren't there to fight Big Mom and come out victorious. We were just there to get what we needed and escape, similar to how Kid had to do, which we still don't know the context of. But in Wano, we have a goal. So if we're to accomplish this goal and then still have to run like with our tail between our legs, I think it would kind of downplay the impact of how great of a feat the Straw Hats have completed, and the rest of the samurai as well, in defeating Kaido, Big Mom, and saving Wano from Orochi's reign. And I just think the Straw Hats will need a break after this, because they really don't have any way to fight so many people after all of them have been weakened so much. So Zunisha can take care of all the world government ships. And I think there's most likely going to be another reason, but it's one that I can't really predict at this point. Probably something that has a greater narrative impact than the other reasons, due to its connections to the history and mysteries we still don't have answers to. I don't know why the histories and mysteries was so funny to me. Yeah, I had a little bit of trouble saying that one. But basically, I don't think we get a lot of Zunisha, but we will probably get a little bit, like a small update on what's really happening and how the world government is reacting to her. I do think it's also possible that there's somebody important on Zunisha, or some people who are important who are currently on Zunisha, and we might see them or some hint towards them in the next few chapters. But that's honestly just a theory, and I don't really have much to back it up, so I'll just leave that at that, because I don't even know who it is. Now I think the majority of the next chapter will be spent on Oda closing out some of the plot lines that he needs resolved. I'll list off a few of them, and then go into detail on the ones which I think I would like to see, or that we will see in the next chapter, and then explain my reasoning. So my list of the things that still need to be resolved in Onigashima are Luffy vs Kaido, Law and Kid vs Big Mom, the fire yokai that Kanjuro made, Yamato and then the weapons at the bottom of Onigashima, Momo and his solution to saving the island, CP0, Raizo vs Fukurokuju, Apu and the Numbers, Denjiro, Hiyori and Orochi, the Scabbards, X-Drake, the Big Mom Pirates, and the Poneglyphs. There are probably a lot that I'm forgetting, but do know that even the ones that I named have plots within them, such as Luffy vs Kaido still having Kaido's flashback, a lot of info on Kaido's goals, as well as Kaido being the only one holding up Onigashima at this point, and much more. But now I'll go over some of the ones that I want to see and I think will happen in the next chapter. Firstly is Raizo vs Fukurokuju. The reason I think this should be taken care of next chapter is because I don't think it'll match up with some of the things that I think are going to get pushed back towards the end of Onigashima, such as Luffy vs Kaido, Law vs Kid, Orochi being defeated, and saving the island from blowing up. It would just be weird if you have Raizo and Fukurokuju concluding at the same time as those, at least in my opinion. I haven't really been interested in this fight at all, and Oda hasn't even shown it much. We kind of just see like flashes into it, so I don't even think Oda really cares that much about it. He probably just thinks it's funny. And honestly, the only reason I can see it being pushed till like more of the end of the war is if it has something to do with Orochi's defeat. Because as we know, Fukurokuju is Orochi's most loyal follower. So if Oda wanted to conclude Fukurokuju's story somehow with Orochi, I wouldn't mind that because it would give him more of a conclusive ending, I guess to say. As if he were to die just to Raizo or in the fire or whatever, it's just like, oh, why did he even exist if nothing happened with him? At least that's what I think. The next thing, and I'm not going to go on it for very long, is Dendro. We still don't know what Dendro is doing. We haven't seen him, and the last time we did see him, we literally just saw him running. He didn't say where, we didn't know where, and I think it was too small to even see where he was going in the panel. So we really have no clue what he's doing, and I hope Oda's doing that for a reason, and not just because he doesn't have anything for Dendro to do. Next is Law and Kid versus Big Mom. Now I don't think it'll resolve, because I do think it's going to take more than 1 or 2 chapters, such as like Sanji and Queen's fight and the Zoro and King's fight. Those realistically just took 1 chapter of full fight to be resolved. But since this is a fight against a Yonko and it's 2v1, I don't think Oda can conclude it that fast, and I don't think there's going to be a definitive victor in this fight, because I do think Big Mom is going to leave Wano. I just don't know how long they will be fighting or how far the fight actually gets, because I do still believe that Kid and Law need some sort of accomplishment in this arc to make it not seem like Luffy did everything. Next, I would like to see the CP0 members making a move again, because they still do have their goal of defeating or capturing Robin. Actually, I think they're going to kill her, or at least they're going to try to. And I've seen a lot of people talking about Brook and possibly Jinbei taking them both on, because Robin really isn't in the state to fight right now. And Jinbei's fight was incredibly easy for him, and then Brook didn't even get a real fight, he fought fodder. So it would be cool if Oda did something to give them more of a challenge this arc, similar to everybody else, aside from Usopp. And as for Luffy vs Kaido, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit more of it, but I do think Oda's going to save the bulk of the fight, at least a bulk of the conclusion of the fight, for like a 1 to 3 chapter ending back to back to back. Because I do expect us to get back to the fight, get a flashback for Kaido, maybe 1-2 chapters, and then get the conclusion of the fight. And around the same time, I think Orochi is going to be defeated, as well as Yamato stopping the island from blowing up, if it does drop. Because those are the big threats and kind of end goals of the arc since the very beginning. So I would like for the 3 of them to be resolved at the same time, or at least similar timing. At this point in the arc, I do think Oda should just start knocking stuff off one by one, instead of doing the jumping around tactic that he was earlier in the war, or the raid, whatever you want to call it. Because for one, it would speed the pace up, but also make it feel more consistent, so you're kind of knocking things out and getting conclusions to things, instead of jumping back and forth building up plot lines. And honestly, that is what Oda's been doing since he started concluding the fights. We've kind of got them one by one. You can see this most with Sanji versus Zoro, where there was a little, not versus Zoro, Sanji and Zoro versus King and Queen, where there was a little crossover between the 2 fights, but it was mostly build up back and forth throughout the whole war. Then we get the fight concluded, Sanji versus Queen. Then we get the fight Sanji, King versus Zoro. Okay, I can't speak. But yeah, guys, that's basically it for my predictions on chapter 1038. With everything we have left still to cover in Wano, I don't think it'll be a slow chapter. I think it'll be good. I think from now on, since a few chapters back, it's been banger after banger after banger. So I definitely don't think that's going to slow down at all. But guys, like I said, leave a comment down below telling me what you think might happen in the next chapter, and what you think will happen going forward in Wano, seeing as we have probably less than a few dozen chapters left. I don't see it going over 20 chapters from this point on. So I'd like to know how you guys think it's going to end. I plan on making a video on this, and I would like more ideas, because honestly I haven't read that many theories or looked at many videos with theories in them, so I don't know the general consensus of the community. I have my thoughts and I plan on putting that in a video, but I also like to compare and contrast with other ones. But yeah, if you like this video, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up, and if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. But with that being said, later.